Black Adam is a movie that entertains very well and gives the audience exactly what they came to the cinema for. A first-class action spectacle, strong characters who take each other seriously, and a good amount of emotion. The fact that the audience celebrates the film is shown, for example, by the Rotten Tomatoes audience score of almost 90%. But what is very striking here is the discrepancy between the audience score and the rating of the critics, which, at 40%, is far worse. Why there is such a difference in the Black Adam rating is what this video is all about. Also, we'll be taking a look at DC's future, because one thing is certain: whether or not Black Adam should break even at the box office, the future of DC is gonna be very, very exciting. We did our best not to talk any major spoilers for Black Adam in this video. Thanks for tuning in. A word that would describe Black Adam very aptly is refreshing. Black Adam is not a typical superhero, but an anti-hero. He's very brutal and ruthless towards his enemies at times, which often happens very unexpectedly. There is no blood splattering, but, unlike most Marvel films for example, there is a certain uncensoredness which makes the film incredibly amusing at times. There are a lot of characters in the film who, although some of them have a little less to do than the others, always treat each other with respect and work with each other. There isn't a single character who is constantly ridiculed or not taken seriously, like in many other franchises for example. Black Adam is a movie that is 100% made for the audience. It's not about lecturing the audience, it's about entertaining us. Interestingly, political themes are not only addressed in the film, they are a very important part of it. A core theme is that very few things in life can be seen as black and white only, that heroes can be villains and villains can be heroes. Pretty interesting the way I see it. So why isn't the film political at all? Because it doesn't force the answers to the questions asked onto the audience, but it leaves enough room so that the audience could form their own opinion, if they wanted to. Because the film still works very well if you just came to the cinema for 2 hours of action without wanting to think too much about anything. But that's exactly what the critics don't seem to like at all. They give Black Adam a 40% Rotten Tomatoes rating, which is very interesting considering that productions like Captain Marvel and She-Hulk have far better critics ratings with far worse audience scores. It's almost as if such productions were not primarily made for the audience, but for the handful of critics who praised them for their political messages and apparent progressiveness. But interestingly enough, in Black Adam, everything that's critically acclaimed in other films is simply just there. Strong female characters? Check. Inclusive cast? Check. Political messages? Check. But the film is not primarily about this, it's primarily about the story, and one can feel that immediately. The film pulls you in completely and is actually pretty gripping. 5,000 years ago, Teth-Adam was granted godlike powers by the gods themselves, becoming Black Adam. However, he's locked away again by the same gods until today, when he's brought back to life by a group of people. But what these people don't know is that Black Adam was jailed for a reason, and that he's not really the hero they think he is. Black Adam leaves a trail of devastation in his wake, prompting Viola Davis, aka Amanda Waller, to send the Justice Society after him. Justice Society? What happened to the Justice League? We don't know exactly. Why doesn't the film once address the fact that Amanda Waller was willing to sacrifice countless human lives out of sheer convenience and ruthlessness in 2021's Suicide Squad? We don't know that as well. Well, in any case, there's a showdown between the Justice Society and Black Adam with, so much can be revealed, a surprising outcome. Have you seen Black Adam already? Did you think it was good or bad? Please leave a comment with your opinion down below. Despite the fact that 50% of the Justice Society members have no real job, the introduction of the group as a whole is still pretty coherent. First, there's the very respectful portrayal of Pierce Brosnan, aka Dr. Fate, who is instantly likable and is responsible for some very emotional moments in the movie. He's also often asked for advice, yes, despite his old white man status, which can be everything but taken for granted in modern productions. Secondly, there's that spark between Atom Smasher and Cyclone, which is really refreshing, to use that description again. Although the two don't really have much screen time, their interactions were, for a change, exactly like the way a boy and a girl behave when they are attracted to each other. And that happens without belittling anybody and without the need to demonstrate to the audience that there can only be one real boss in every relationship. But the critics, obviously, haven't liked all of this either. Yes, at times Black Adam's story seems pretty far-fetched, and the antagonist is barely present in the second act, and The Rock's acting is, well, just like how The Rock plays himself. But the thing is, that's exactly what we expected, and that's exactly the point. After so many harsh disappointments in recent times, which have, hopefully, at least for some time, reached the peak with the first season of Rings of Power, it seems that we, as an audience, have already every reason to rejoice when we are not disappointed by a production. It's a shame that it has become this way. After the rather dark DCEU films by Zack Snyder and other rather, let's call them, peculiar productions, Black Adam could be exactly the change that the DCEU, which by the way was renamed by the studio to only DCU recently, urgently needed. There are exciting times ahead for DC. On November 1st, 2022, Peter Safran and James Gunn became the new DC CEOs. James Gunn will be overseeing the entire creative part of the productions, the same James Gunn who brought us the Guardians of the Galaxy and also the new 2021 Suicide Squad. You can think what you like about Gunn, whether or not to condemn him for his disgusting, provocative tweets from a decade ago, but there's no denying that this man knows how to tell interesting, innovative stories. He's someone who understands what it means to make films for the audience. There's a lot of potential for upcoming DC productions with someone like him leading the studio. Gunn could take the DCU in a very interesting direction with possible Black Adam sequels. Which will even be more exciting if the rumors came true and Henry Cavill returns as Superman. Has he actually left his Witcher role behind to be Superman again? We don't know for sure yet, but one thing is clear. For Black Adam vs Henry Cavill as Superman, fans would come to the theaters by the thousands. Because Henry Cavill represents heroic characters who are real heroic characters, just as the audience wants them to be. If such a film with Black Adam and Superman should actually turn out to be what the audience expects it to be, and with Dwayne Johnson and Henry Cavill in the leading roles, the chances would be pretty good, then DC could become a serious competitor to Marvel again. Especially if Marvel should continue on its current course by treating its heroes the way it does at the moment. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Take care and see you soon.